I don't know why it's doing that. I'm sorry. Two, three, and four. You can email them at accelerators@target.com to see if your company. All right, well, we're ready to get started. All right, y'all know I'm a time person. Hello, 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 hello. Hello. All right, all right, all right. It's 6:30, and I'm going to go ahead and get started because I don't want to have to pause too much longer, kind of waiting on folks because I told people that even if they weren't able to show up, that I would, they could just watch it later. So, yeah, we're going to get started. Welcome. Welcome to Get Your Non-Dilutive Coins, y'all. So the reason why I named this Non-Dilutive Coins, my name is Charlotte Young Bowens, by the way. I'm the founder of Conscious Gear. And I decided to call this non-dilutive coins because non-dilutive really means free cash money. It's non-taxable. It's like a gift. You don't have to claim it. It's not considered income. It's like a gift. And so you can use it a lot of times when organizations and or companies give you grants, they will, okay, hang on. I don't feel like my volume is up. Man, I can't tell what's going on with my volume. Volume. Usually you can see the little green. Okay, hang on, y'all. Let me just make sure my volume is up. Okay. I just don't want to, I want to make sure you hear me. I don't want to do this whole thing and then there's no volume. Okay, what's going on? Oh, I guess the volume is good. From what I can, okay. Okay, so I'm gonna test it real quick. Yeah, we're good. Okay, the sound is good. I didn't realize I had a song that they tested the speaking. Okay, good. So, anyways, again, my name is Charlotte Young Bowens. I am the founder of Conscious Gear, where we're all about celebrating body diversity in the outdoors. And I do that by making outerwear and outdoor gear that is specifically designed using a design aesthetic for bigger bodies. And so, I decided because I bring 20 years of administrative experience to grant administration. I bring like 15 years experience applying for grants, managing grants, being on grant review committees, as well as just helping people be able to apply for grants and making sure that they get the necessary information in those grant applications so they can be seriously considered for these funds. And I thought I would start with the Target Accelerator application because I thought I saw in there that you might get a grant, but you might not. But I know a lot of people, startup companies are definitely interested in potentially applying to the Target Accelerator program. I've had the fortune of being a part of what they call pro bono design, which is a Target Accelerator program. It's a little different than these other ones, but it specifically helps entrepreneurs, giving them specific project support for their business. And so also, I have been able to raise nearly $50,000 in what I call what is not what called what is non-dilutive funds for my startup company, Conscious Gear. And so I just thought I would share a little bit about what I've learned on my journey, what I know works, what doesn't work, but also just realizing kind of professionally that wow, I forgot I had I kind of forgot that I brought all this experience to the table as it relates to grants and applying for accelerators, which might be why I've been successful. And you can thank my son Jeremiah because he's the one that said, "It doesn't shock me, Mom, that you're you're getting these grants. You're a grant administrator and you're good at what you do." So thank you, son. And you, we should all thank him because had he not really brought that to my attention, I probably wouldn't have been doing this. But I'm excited about doing this and sharing this information with you. And so, what we're going to do right now is we're going to walk through the Target Accelerator application. And if there are people here that have, hey, you hey, Sophia. Okay, good. Hey, Sierra. Great. Okay, thank you guys for coming out. I just turned to the comment section, so I didn't even know anybody was on. And so, hey, great to see you guys. We're going to walk through this Target Accelerator application. I'm going to do a few things first. First of all, I'm going to tell you guys that this is for training purposes, informational only. That I do not work for Target, nor do I have any control and I don't guarantee that any of the information that I share will magically get you accepted into the Target Accelerator program. However, I do think that it will be helpful and useful in terms of filling out your application correctly so that you get the proper consideration that you fundamentally deserve. All right, so let's get to it. All right, so first and foremost, I'm going to take you to, I got to keep moving back between screens and screens. Okay, so let's go to the Target Accelerator. I'm going to take you straight to the Target Accelerator page. It is targetaccelerators.com. They say they're open for applications. I'm just going to go a little bit through this first page because I think it has some invaluable information that you should know. First of all, they have two programs. They have the Target Forward Founders Program. And really, these are people that are really early stage who probably maybe have sold a few products to some friends and family, but haven't really kind of made any further kind of grounds on their business. They're really super early stage. And so Target Forward Founders is a program that if you're in that category, that's the program you want to apply for. But if you already make your product, you already have a product, you already sell it on a regular basis, you have wholesale accounts, then you want to do the Target Takeoff because that is for more what they call mature consumer packaged goods companies. And then the Target Takeoff, what they're going to do is say, you know already a lot about wholesale. However, it's like, how do you take that to the next level to do mass retail? So think about where you are in your business and then consider, is it the Target Forward Founders or if it's the Target Takeoff? If, like, for instance, you just really feel like I need more foundational information and you don't mind starting with the Target Forward Founders, then you can always start with the Target Forward Founders. If you already have a product, you really have a high chance of getting into that one. So because a lot of people will come in with ideals and not necessarily products. And so you really do need to have some kind of product in mind when you apply to these programs. It has to be a little bit beyond idea. And I really want to stress that because it is the first thing that's one of the ways they'll weed a lot of people out. They're like, oh, it's just an idea. They don't really know what they want to do. So, you know, um, yeah. And so some criteria is that you need to be 18 or over. If you are under 18, you need to have an adult co-founder. So this does not rule out young people that have businesses, but you will need a co-founder that is an adult in order to apply to this program. Also, you must have an LLC, B Corp, S Corp, or some other registered entity in the United States. No sole proprietors are allowed to apply. So if you're a sole proprietor, um, you need to go get registered before you apply. You could, this is always true, you could apply for your LLC as you're submitting your application. And so as long as by the time you would start the program, you are registered, you'll be fine. So don't let that stop you if you're a sole proprietor. Just go ahead and start getting your paperwork done. By the time, they start reviewing applications and they consider who they're going to take into the program, as long as you got that LLC in place, you'll be fine. All right, and you must be currently selling a physical product. And this is another one of those key areas that people a lot of times have questions on. So, like, say for instance, your main product is, like for me, my main product is hydration vest. I'm not selling my hydration vest, but I sell like t-shirts and other swag stuff. You know what I mean? As long as I'm selling something, that is what they consider selling a physical product. It doesn't have to be the actual product that you will enter into the Target Accelerator with, but as long as you're selling something, so they have a sense that you know how to sell, that you're into, like, this is what you really want to be doing. And so, like I said, if you sold a t-shirt or a cake or whatever, just as long as you sold something. There's a question in the application that I will talk about where this becomes really super important. And you cannot be a current or prior vendor with Target. So I don't think anybody who was a current or prior vendor would even be thinking about doing this. I'm going to make this, enlarge this. Okay, here we go. And then, like I said, there's two categories, the Target Forward Founders and then the Target Takeoff. I think for both you, Sophia, and Sierra, you guys could do the Target Takeoff. So maybe I'll go straight into the application as opposed to, I could go back and do the other Target Forward Founders at a later time. So again, their tips is choose the right program for you. There's a guide to apply. And then telling your story and essay questions. And I'm going to give you some tips and tricks on that. And then retail key terms. And then they just tell you frequently asked questions, just like is due on midnight Central Time on February 3rd, which will be 11 o'clock Mountain Time. So be prepared for that on Friday night. And then they tell you there's two cohorts this year. They have a Target Forward that starts in April, and then they have one that starts in October. And then the Target Takeoff, they have one start in May, and then another one start in October. So maybe you won't be available between May and June. Maybe you should just apply for the next one and then start in October. These programs are 10 weeks long, and they tell you to be available certain evenings of the week. So, you need to make sure you carve out that time. And they will be a stickler about attendance. They do not play. Like, this is a tremendous opportunity. So they really want people to attend. Now, at this time, they say apparel and accessory applications will be accepted and reviewed with this opportunity. However, they may not be selected. And I'll talk more about that, why. And then here we go. How much does it cost? It's free. There's no strings attached. But both programs will receive a $5,000 stipend. So yes, you will get $5,000. People kept telling me, you don't get any money with the Target Accelerator. I'm like, they always give out money. I'm like, so yeah, you will get $5,000 if you do this program. And again, they tell you the times for the Target Forward. It's like Tuesdays and Wednesdays after 5 o'clock p.m. And then Target Takeoff, it's an aggressive program, and they will make you, they want you to be available like Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. So that's a lot of time, to give to a program. So just be mindful of that when you're thinking about applying. And whether or not you want to do this. Yeah, and as it says right here, what if I can't attend a session? Sessions are mandatory by yourself or a co-founder. Um, you'll have to communicate your absences, but they're not going to allow for a lot of them at all. Maybe one, maybe you get away with one. And these are 10, the Forward Founder program is 10 weeks and the takeoff is 6 weeks. Okay. So I wanted to go back here and so let's just deal with the Target Takeoff program. It is open. However, the only categories they're accepting applications for is food and beverage, baby, pet, household essentials, and health. So I'm going to take you to the next page because I want you to kind of know exactly what that means for Target. So they said baby, right? Bath, potty, car seats, clothing, diapers, gear, and activities, health, safety, nursing and feeding, shoes, stroller, anything in that category. You're good. What was it? I forgot what they were again. Food and beverage. So food and beverage can be anything, any adult beverage, bakery, beverages, candy, dairy, dry pantry, fresh produce, frozen meat alternative, seafood bar, drink mixes, snacks, and other. So anything in the food category, pet, and then household items. Okay. Oh, okay. All right. The next one is pet. Pet is huge. They always accept stuff in the pet category. Sorry about my computer. It's like moving a little. Hang on. I got the wrong screen. Wrong screen. I'm moving. Struggling to get through. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's go here. Blah, blah, blah. Choosing the right program. Here we go. Accidentally cut that screen off. Okay. Choosing the right program. Okay. So, okay. Come on, come on. All right. So, anyways, let's see if that screen gives us a minute to So anything in the pet category, they always love pet stuff. I never see. I always every time I see that they have a listing, they always have the pet stuff. That seems to be one of the fastest growing verticals right now. And so, if you have anything in pets, yeah. And then household essentials. I was trying to get back to this screen. Here we go. I have a list here, anyways, just in case this happened. So household essentials is air fresheners, cleaning supplies, dish detergent, food storage bags and containers, hand soap and sanitizers, insect and pest control, laundry care, paper and plastic products, toilet paper, trash bags, and others. So that is the household essentials. And then health. The health category is vitamins and supplements, medicines, treatments, first aid, nutrition and weight loss, personal care, sexual health, feminine products, allergy and sinus, cold and flu, eye care, home health care, incontinence, foot care, ear care, genetic wellness tests, scrubs, oral care, hand soap, sanitizers, deodorant, antiperspirant, hair remover and shave, men's grooming, feminine products, cotton balls, pads, and swabs. So those are all the categories that they'll be accepting for the Target takeoff. Notice in the Target Forward Founders that they say all product categories available at Target except, then they give you a list of things they don't accept. So they have a whole bunch of categories. However, sometimes they just won't accept certain things. Like they're not accepting apparel and accessories. Although they just said at the bottom that they would take it in, but there's no guarantee that you would get accepted. So whatever. I think if they think it's something special, if they think it's going to be something cutting edge, or you're on the front end of something and they want to be in on it, then they'll probably accept you in with apparel and accessories. And also, like I tell people, like even if the categories are an exception, apply because maybe what you're doing is super neat and something they thought about, something they want to do. So you never know, they might accept you in. And so you could read all this on the website. I'm not going to go through all this. All right, so let's see. Let's go to the Target Takeoff application. All right. So they have all this stuff about it, and you can read that on your own, but we're just going to go straight away into the application. All right, so now the applications are open. Like I said, you have until Friday, February 3rd to complete your application, and then we're just going to start the application. All right. Okay, and then it's okay. apply. Ooh, they give you multiple steps too. And I think I have my screens open, so it's just automatically going to my Target Accelerator file. Oh, no, it's not. Okay. All right, here we go. There we go. Sign in. So if you're not signed in, you don't have a sign on, you can create a sign on real quick right here. And you'll want to do that because you want to go back and be able to look at um, what's going on. All right. So 2023 Accelerated Application. And again, everything that I went through is pretty much what they said before. And just remember, you do get this $5,000 stipend. Okay. So basically, the first page is super easy. What is your address? Phone number. Like I said, I've already filled out applications for them. So my information is kind of already built into their program, already built in. Okay. Okay. All right. So are you telling me, let me see. I think I have to click on Target. All right. So here we are. We're starting the application. It's like, we're excited to learn more about your brand. Please answer a few short questions. Just give the name of your company. What's your legal name? Your name. You know what your title is. Email address. Are you in the US? City, state, your website. And then it says, is your company present on social media platforms? Yes or no? And if so, provide links. You could just type them in. Now, this is important. The next few questions will help confirm basic qualification for the program. This is where a lot of people get stuck and they don't really know what to do. Do you have at least one product available for sale? Yes. If you put no, your application is going to be automatically disqualified. And then how are you registered? They give you can do the little menu here, and it has a whole bunch of different options. And again, you don't want to put sole proprietor because again, you'll get disqualified. And then do you have at least one founder of your company 18 years or older? Yes or no? And so that's what I said. For those people that are under 18, you have to have a co-founder that's an adult. All right. And so then in this case, which program do you want to be considered for? This is where it is. Let's say if you like, depending on which program, it will give you certain questions. So we're going to do Target Takeoff because you guys are more Target Takeoff people. Do you guys think you want to apply for Target Takeoff, or do you think you want to start from the beginning? Do you think you want to Target? All right, I'm gonna start with the Target Takeoff, and if you want to do the Target Forward, I'll just do that at the end. Okay, so with the Target Takeoff, select all past and current engagements your company has had with Target. You know, have you ever applied for the Accelerated program before? Have you ever met with a buyer? Are you part of a team that already has a contract with Target? Are you a current vendor or supplier? Remember, if you are a current vendor or supplier, you're disqualified because you can't apply for these programs. You know, are you a past team member? Are you a past vendor or supplier? Or maybe you've spoken with the buyer, or you do not have any prior or current engagement with Target. And so I've applied for I don't know why it says current vendor here. And I said, I've applied for Target program before. Doesn't say like I got into it or not, but anyways, okay. So check all that apply. You can check multiple things. They give you the option to check more than one. So whatever you want to check, you can do that. And then please provide additional details about your engagement with Target, who you spoke with. And so in my case, I put Design Pro Bono, which is a program through Target. And then it says, please indicate which programs you have applied to. There is a whole list of programs. And so throughout the years, And throughout the year, they will pop up with little programs. So maybe they'll do Take Off Baby or Take Off Beauty or Take Off Food. And then those programs will be specifically for those categories. And then they will be highly intensive. And they'll just work with just those entrepreneurs that are in that category. And then they also have a tech accelerator. So if you're doing some type of tech, they sometimes have that offering as well. Were you accepted into the program you applied to? I guess in my case, I would say yes. But in your case, maybe you say no. And then it says, we can't wait to learn more. Just be careful with these questions right here, because these are the questions that really, they are trying to figure out if you qualify. And if you mess these questions up, you're not getting in. Your application just goes into like to the side. So just be sure to really make sure to answer those as correctly as possible. Well, Sierra, you don't have wholesale. You do. Well, like you're selling wholesale to me. You probably have sold a whole bunch to other people. You'll see when we'll get further along in the application that you'll see that you do qualify as a wholesaler. Like you go to the farmer's market and you sell a lot. That's retail kind of in a wholesale environment. I mean, they just like you got to be somebody who's selling something on a regular basis, and that you have like when you're at the farmer's market, that's considered a retail experience, and so it qualifies you. When they have these sometimes they have these information sessions, and people always ask this question about farmers markets, and they say yes, that qualifies as retail. So yes, and even if you are a small business, that's what they're trying to do. They're saying to all the small businesses that are just selling, here, there, like they want to teach you everything you need to know to scale up, like how to identify a manufacturer, how to talk to buyers, how to secure the capital to be able to buy. Like when Target comes to you and they want their stuff and wants your stuff in their store, they don't want 5 or 10. They're going to want like thousands. And you got to know how to be able to handle ordering those thousands on a regular basis, right? Because they're selling them at all their stores across the country. So your stuff is going to sell out. And then how to handle the cash flow during all that time, because you have to pay up front for stuff and then you send it to them and then they sell it and then they pay you later. So it's like that whole scaling up to the mass retail is really complex. And so they want you to kind of dig deep and understand like this is what it's going to take, but also they'll give you the tools and resources to be able to go how to access the capital so that you can pay for stuff up front. And then sometimes they work with you around payment. Sometimes they will buy stuff right out. It just depends on your relationship with them and how well your stuff sells. So even if you are a small business, yes, I would apply for takeoff. Yes, even if you don't have a whole lot of wholesale. But you do. You're selling wholesale to me. Yes, you do wholesale. Okay. The next step is we can't wait to learn more. Let's go one step deeper. What category best describes your product? So you will want to go back to that list. And my computer is super slow today. I don't know what's going on. I thought I had, oh, this is not the right page. They have all these categories. They have a page with all the categories on it. Let me find it real quick. You're just going to want to make sure that your product fits in the category. Okay. Choosing the right program. Your guide to apply. Hang on. I don't think that's the page. There's a page that lists all the, here it is. Here's all the categories on this page. And so you just look at this and make sure that you're where your item is. So Sophia, you sell soap. You would be actually in beauty. Skin, nails, fragrance. No, well, maybe you're in another one. Hold on, let me see. I saw soap somewhere and I thought it was in a weird. Oh no, you're in health. So for like soap, it's in the health, which is different. I thought it would be in beauty, but it's actually in health. Sierra, you sell food and beverage. There you go. That's your category. Let's see. All right. So select. Okay, I got too many windows open now. Now I can't figure out where I'm at. Okay, here we go. All right. So what category best describe your products? Just find the category. If you don't think your category fits in any of these, just go other and explain. Like I always put other and I put outdoor gear. Um, and then what additional categories describe your product? Maybe you sell multiple products. This is an opportunity for you to put another category down. So make sure you fill this out. And even if you don't, just put the same one in. Do not leave this question blank. If you're food and beverage, just say boo food and beverage again. That's it. Just but don't leave it blank. How many SKUs do you have? SKUs just means how many different types of products do you have? And a SKU also will means like let's say you have soap, but you have 5 different fragrances, and then you have 5 different sizes. That's like 25 SKUs. So depending on how many you have and how many different variations of the kind of thing you have, just put it in there. Um, let's see, and then list up the 5 unique products you're selling. And so just put like for me, I put my Vestapack, Vestapack Light, da 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 number. And then this question right here is important. What is your lifetime revenue in US dollars? This is an important question for the product that you're selling or want to sell. I tell people, even if you've been in business 10, 15, 20, you've been selling us everything she was in kindergarten. What I want you to do is just try to guesstimate how much you've sold over the years. Like maybe you dabbled into it for a little while, but then you stopped. Like go back and think about like how much, and then put that number in here. Even though you didn't necessarily amass all those sales in like a year or a quarter, having sold a lot of stuff and over the years, put that amount in because it speaks to your tenacity, it speaks to your ability to sell, and it speaks to the fact that there were customers that paid you for it. So yeah, you might discover you've sold a lot, like 100,000, 150,000. Over the years, you're like, oh wow. Put that number in there because it's your lifetime revenue. It's not just from last year or last 2 years, but since the beginning of time. And there are a lot of entrepreneurs that sell things like at the farmer's market for like 10, 20 years, and then they decide they want to go to Target. And they have like hundreds of thousands of millions of dollars of stuff that they've sold. And this could impact how people consider your application because they're like, wow, you've kind of been in this for a while and you've been able, your capacity to be able to get money from customers is super important to Target. Target's all about the customers, it's all about the coins. So they want to see that you know how to engage with customers and you know how to sell stuff. So just go back, think about it, guesstimate, over guesstimate, but put the number in, be real. Like, I've sold like over $1 million worth of stuff, but then put $1 million in there. Don't feel like you have to like dumb that question down or say less than you really did, because don't. Tell them the truth. Tell them that you've been at this for a while and you've sold a lot. So, and then the next question is, what is your estimated 2023 annual revenue? And so this is when you say, this is how much you want to make. And, you have some cash flow projections from your bookkeeper or maybe in your Excel spreadsheet like me. And so, you'll put down what you think you want to make. I hope to make $1 million next year. So that's what I put down there. Including founders, how many employees do you have? I put everybody down there. I put me, I put all the contractors that I've worked with, I put down all the part-time people as well as my intern. So I put everybody down there. And again, this is another good question. If you say you're just one and done, they're going to kind of question like, do you know how to work with people? Or can you really do this all by yourself? So if you've had any kind of help from anybody along the way, just put them in this number. Or if you plan on hiring people in the next few months or a year, put them in this number. But I would say don't put one. I might get in trouble for saying that, but I can see where when I've reviewed proposals and entrepreneurial programs where having one person, we were like, is this person, are they going to think they can do everything on their own? So I don't know, but it's up to you. You could do what you want to do. And then the next question is, what year was your brand founded? 2021. And then what are your manufacturing capabilities? Okay, this is a tough question. So, um, be honest, because the purpose of this program is to teach you how to develop your relationships with manufacturers and to increase your manufacturing capabilities. So you and or an employee make the products yourself. If that's the case, check that box. If you own and utilize your own manufacturing equipment, check that box. If you work with a co-manufacturer, check that box. Um, or other, whatever the case may be. This is an interesting question, and you could answer it, truthfully. Put what the truth is. But also, I feel like it's a hard question to answer because you may do all of these things sometimes. Sometimes you make it yourself. Sometimes you have the equipment to make it, and sometimes you co-manufacture, and sometimes you don't. So, let me see. Yeah, you could do multiple things. So put all that information in as you see fit. All right, and then what are your average MOQs? Okay, so that means MOQ means minimum order quantity, meaning what is the minimum of units that you produce at any one time. Now, what that means is like right now, if somebody came to you and they ordered 10,000, could you fulfill that order? You got to ask yourself that question. Could I fulfill that order? It may take you a minute, but could you fulfill the order? If you think you could potentially do 10,000, then I would check 1,000 to 10,000. Or if you thought you can minimally do 1,000, anywhere between 1,000 and 10,000, check that. I mean, it just shows your capacity. And they get that. I will say when you're working with Target, they understand with minimums, meaning that they may want 100,000 units from you, but they understand that maybe you can only deliver 10,000 units per month to them. So they just want to know what's your capacity. And if you're not working with a manufacturer, they know that you don't have the capacity to do a lot. Or like if you're using in a kitchen where you're like using a co-kitchen, well, they know you can only get in there certain times a month, so many days a week, blah, blah, blah. You can only create so many. So, and then they do allow you to put here, not sure what MOQ is, but they tell you what MOQ is. So therefore, or not applicable could be for tech products that there's no MOQs on that. So, just think about like I would say be aggressive with this number. Like what maximum could you really do? Like put it in there. No one's going to make you do 10,000 units at any one time right away, but it'll just give them a sense of, okay, you have the capacity to do this, but also tells them where you are in the manufacturing game. Like, what do you need to learn? How do we level you up? So, all right. And then it says, what is your lead time? So again, like, let's say you could do 10,000 units, 10,000 soaps or 10,000 packs of granola. How long would it take you? And then you would put in there, like for me, I could say I could do 10, like my foreign manufacturer says they could do 10,000 units. They could do up to how many units I want, but I would only want them to do maybe 10,000 units. And then they said it would take them like 8 to 12 weeks for me to get on the schedule, for them to manufacture it, and then for them to work to get everything together, and then for it to come from China to America. So it would probably take 8 to 12 weeks. And so these are good questions, like how long would it take? So think about if you could do 10,000, then how long would it take you to make those? And just, be fair, be honest, because you don't want to overcommit or say you can overcommit, because you never know. Target could come to you and say, oh, if you could do 10,000 units, can I get those? So just, think about it and make it reasonable, because you don't want to underdeliver in the case that something happens. Okay. But then again, these are just estimates. You're not going to be held to these at all. So don't think about that. But I also say don't over communicate like you could do more than you could do, because then I don't know. I don't think it'll interfere with your application. I don't think it'll interfere with your relationship with Target. But I think you'll start to learn, like, what your MOQs are and how long it takes. Okay. And then it says, what are your supply chain capabilities? This one is like you or an employer are responsible for filling orders through the post office. Basically, that is home-based e-commerce. So they talk about this thing called No EDI. And I wanted to show you guys on their little EDI is electronic data interchange. What that means is if you're on Shopify, Wix, whatever, that's an EDI. So no EDI means you don't use any kind of digital interface. You maybe sell it out the trunk of your car, or people call you, they text you, they Venmo you, you don't use like anything really like a robust retail digital program to do your orders. And then the second one is you and your employer are responsible for dropping product off at a store location. So again, this is another situation. Let's say you have a relationship with a beauty salon or some cafe or whatever, but you don't really, they just call you and say, oh, give me 50. And then you're like, okay, I'll bring the 50 over. But you don't really, they don't interface with you electronically. Then that's what no EDI means. It usually just means that, it's kind of like grassroots. That's the real hustle grind way of doing business. And then it says dropship EDI. You can only dropship with EDI. You have to have a computerized program in order to do EDI. But then it says dropship, no EDI. I don't know how you would do that, but maybe there are people that do that. So obviously they have this option for you to choose from. And then it's like ship full pallet, truckload quantities for retailer warehouses. And again, you use electronic. Then they say ship full pallet, truckload quantities to retail warehouses, and you have no EDI. I don't know how that possibly happens, but obviously it's an option. Obviously there are people out there that do it. I don't know anything about that. And then 3PL and distributors relationships. And so these are more like third party logistics, meaning like for me, I have the vest, and then I have the water bladder, and all that goes to the fulfillment center. That's my third party logistics person. They will handle distributing it to the stores, REI, to individuals, whatever the case may be. So a third party logistics manager usually is like a fulfillment center, I would say, pretty much. Or maybe your manufacturer does the fulfillment for you. So they're third party logistics. So it just depends. This is stuff that happens really at a more higher level when you're producing a lot more product. Or you say, I currently do not ship your products. Okay, that's an option. And then it says, do you currently have EDI capabilities or use EDI today? And so again, that's a computer-computer exchange of business documents between companies. It's electronic in a structured way. You can transmit data between either you and Target. Let me say this, if you have Shopify, the answer is yes. Target can interface with Shopify. So I tell people that's the simplest way for me to explain it to you. Like if you have Shopify or Wix, Etsy, maybe even, yes, you have some kind of electronic data interchange where you can communicate with, like, Target could come into your system and download the information into their system, and then they can order. Yeah, it's just, I do know that Target has capacity to interface with Shopify, Etsy, and other website platforms. However, they don't prefer to use that. They have their own EDI. So they want you probably to phase into theirs. Okay, so do you currently have an EFT capability or use EFT today? Electronic fund transfer. Okay, so if you, most people have EFT. Usually you use sometimes you can use your credit card. You can do, wire transfers. Everything that I deal with as it relates to my business is wire transfers. I don't use like a credit card. So if you can if you have a bank account, you could do EFT, because there's a mechanism by which the bank will help you be able to do that. So I'll say that about you. I think that this is really high level stuff. But yeah. And it said it's just, money across the online network between banks and people. And so you can go into your bank and say, I want to do an EFT. You got to get certain information from the vendor, and then they will make sure your money gets transferred to them, and it's done so safely, and it's protected, and it's secured. So don't ever do this stuff unless it's with a bank. And these online apps, don't use them. Or your money might not get where it's supposed to go. But yeah, most people have EFT capabilities. If you have a bank account, you can say yes to this question. And where do you sell your products currently? And so they have a whole bunch of lists here. They have Targets and national groceries, specialty groceries, department stores, drugstores, home improvement stores, specialty stores, Walmart, Amazon, QVC, other online retailers like Etsy and eBay, your company website, local retailers or co-ops, and then there's none and not selling. And if that's your case, you just check that stuff. What I like about this list is that it really tells you all the opportunities for you to sell your stuff. Like Target is just one of many places. You could be selling your stuff to all these different places: grocery stores, specialty stores, department stores, drug stores, home improvement stores, specialty stores, Walmart, Amazon, QVC. Oh my God, the list goes on. So Target is great, but Target is not the only game in town. So I like looking at this list because I'm like, wow, these are opportunities that I might have. And then how many brick and mortar retail stores is your brand currently carried in? So if you're carried in, like I said, a beauty salon or a coffee shop or wherever, put the information down. And I would consider farmers market a brick and mortar. It's kind of like a brick and mortar. I would just put that, if that's your only selling point, I would put that down, one or whatever. It's considered brick and mortar because it's like you're selling it out of a established retail place that has a regular, like people come regularly. And then the next question is, do you use a vendor rep group broker? Yes or no? Yeah, I don't use one. So I don't know a lot about this. But I will say this: when you start to grow, this you will have a vendor rep group and broker, because this is what will happen. So you're selling your granola. This broker will get your granola into Sam's Clubs, Costco's, Kroger's, all the grocery stores. Or like for you, Sophia, if you have soap, they'll get them to all the stores. Like they are the ones that will broker getting your stuff into different stores. And what happens is each broker has a selection of items that they represent. And so they constantly go into different retailers saying, I have this new soap, I have this new granola, check it out, carry it. And then they will broker it in such a way that they manage like how much you need to have every month or every quarter, that they will distribute it to all these different markets. And they will probably be the ones to help manage the money, so that you get paid, because they want to get paid, because they want a percentage of what you sell. And so, yeah, that will be your next step. And whoo, it's going to be a lot. And then they really help too. A lot of times with marketing, they'll help making sure that your product looks good and looks like they'll go into the stores and do the bookends where they'll show your product off and make sure that it's featured sometimes, and make sure that it's above certain rows in the grocery store or whatever the case may be. Brokers are pretty important. A lot of times you don't want to give up that money to them, but they can do things that a lot of times you can't do as a business owner. So something to think about, but you probably don't have that right now. Since you're nearly halfway done, yes. And then the next is like, is your company owned, operated? You just kind of select all the things that you are, or none of them. And then this is going to be really important, particularly when you start to grow. It's like these certifications. You may not have them now, but we all need to be thinking about getting these certifications, because what happens with these certifications, I learned this with Dick's Sporting Goods. Like they want to entertain putting my stuff in, but they're like, if you get that minority business certification, they're like, you go to the front of the line. Like, I don't have to wait in line. because they need to up their like minority owned businesses in their store. And so I would immediately go. And so, yeah, I'm working on that this year to get all of my certifications as a woman, as a minority, LGBTQ, whatever ones I can get. I want to get them all. So, and you could work with Local First Arizona to talk about that, because I do know they have some kind of help getting that. And again, this will put you in front of the line, even at Target. So think about getting those. Okay. Are your products currently registered with Works? Works is Worldwide Environmental Regulation Compliance Solutions. And what they do is they help you. Like if you need some kind of certification for your product, they will make sure that it's certified. And then they will also tell you about how to ship it. And like granola, like for instance, granola is a food product. It might not require any certification, but you're probably going to have to get it tested for longevity. And so it has to have a mark on there that says this product is good until January 2025, whatever the case may be. Works will help you get all that stuff done. And yeah, see, they do over the counter, they do all this stuff. Just making sure that you have the right certification and right labeling on your products, so that you don't get sued. Because when you start putting your stuff in the retail space, if something happens to it, people will try to sue you. But then again, you'll have business insurance, so you don't have to worry about that. Which is the next question. Do you have a commercial general liability insurance? If you don't have it, y'all need to get it. You can put no, that's fine. But at some point in time, you're going to have to get general liability insurance. Find a broker and then get that insurance. It's not a lot, but it's going to save you from anything that happens. I think a lot of times business owners want to grow, but then you got to understand when you grow comes drama, honey, drama. Somebody going to say they didn't like it, and you want to protect yourself with insurance. And so I do have insurance, and it's a $2 million policy for now. I probably have to up that up pretty soon, but and then where did you hear about us? And I tell them, they give you drop down menu so you can say where you might have heard from them. And then, are you working outside your business? And so I tell people, put whatever you want here. Sometimes I don't want them knowing all of my business, but sometimes I do. So in this case, I did. I tell them everything. Well, they know everything about me now, so it's not even an issue. I don't think it's not going to affect them accepting you or not if you work full time. They get that everybody's got a side hustle. So that's the cool thing about Target. And then now it's like, now tell us a little about you and your experiences. And then describe your brand in one sentence, which you guys probably have. And then, why is your product innovative? How does your product address an unmet need or problem? Now, let's say these next few questions are essay questions. I want to show you guys something. It's called Chat GTP. Let me see if I can get it to work. Oh, here we go. Maybe. So Chat GTP is an AI program that, let's say you don't really have a lot of copy for your business or your products, but I am going to say this: Target wants you to write your stuff in a way that really is catching and intelligent. So I use an example here. Like, I tell this AI to write it for me. So I said, write marketing copy for a dog carrier made out of recycled materials designed to carry animals when needed. And then it comes up with the answer. So let's say I say, right, what was it that Target asked for? They're like, why is my product innovative, and how does it how does my product address an unmet need? You can go and chat GTP and write, how is this product innovative? And let's see. And how does it address an unmet need? And what will happen is AI will write something for you. I wouldn't use everything that comes from AI verbatim, but at least give you a starting point about what to write and what kind of information you should include, because it's pulling from the internet the best of the best information. So this product is innovative because it uses recycled materials, which is not common in dog carriers, blah, blah, blah. So I do want to just expose you guys to this tool called Chat GTP, and I'll put the little URL in the chat box. Check it out. It is a great place. Like a lot of times everybody's not a writer. So, but Target do want you to write these essays, and it's just 200 words, so it's not a lot. And I always say, make sure you put in up to 200 words as close as you possibly can. If you are constantly putting 5 to 10 word answers to these questions, and there's like several of them, right? There's like a whole bunch. Target's not going to take you seriously because they're thinking to myself, you don't know your brand. You don't know anything about your product. You don't know how to talk about it. You know, they're like 5 or 10 words. No way. So make sure it says limit 200 words. Try to get it as close to 200 words as you can. So the first, like, why is your product innovative? How does your product address an unmet need or problem? Go to Chat GTP, put your product in there, get some text, edit it, tweak it to sound more like you or your product or your voice, and put it in there. And then the next one is, as a brand, it's important to understand your category. Who are your top 3 competitors equal or closest to your brand? I'm going to be honest with you. You could take this question. You could say, who are the top 3 competitors? Okay, let's just do this. We can do this right now. I'll show you right now. Okay. Let's say a new chat. And I'm going to say, and don't worry about this part up here because this is like a Chrome extension that I have that goes on to my Chat GTP. So who are the top 3 competitors equal or closest to, I'm going to say, in the granola category, like in the granola category. And it will tell you. Okay. Oops, I gotta do this. Come on, baby. So you don't have to go looking up who are your 3 top competitors. You can go right here to Chat GTP and it will tell you. It will look the information up for you. It's like Google on steroids. Like you go Google it, it'll tell you, but then you have to, okay, I'm gonna verify that I'm human. Okay. Google will tell you where to go to look for the information. Chat GTP will actually tell you, it will condense it for you so that you don't have to be spend a lot of time trying to figure it all out. Okay. So here we go. Closest to 3 competitors equal or closest to my granola brand. I will say closest to granola brands. Okay. Like, what are the top 3 competitors equals closest? I would say 4 granola brands. Okay. I don't know. I would word it however. We'll try that. Okay, so they say that the top 3 is Nature Valley, Quaker, and Kind. And these brands are known for high quality ingredients, delicious taste. Other popular granola brands are Bear, Bob's Red Mill, and Cascadia. And so then what you will say is what makes your brand different. And again, you could just put it in there. But it says what sets you apart from each of them. So you can go back here and put information about your brand and then have it spew out to you what sets you apart from these other brands. So maybe you use local farmers. I don't know, whatever the case may be. But you have the option of putting whatever it'll just make it easier for you to get this information. And then you'll have a nice 200-word answer in here. And then if selected in the program, what are 3 skills that you want to contribute to the Target Accelerator's founder community? This is what you should do for your answer to this question is, whatever you're good at. Just take 3 things that you're good at and say, this is what I will share with the community. If it's, I know how to make granola, then I know how to make soap. That's what it is. Or I'm good at, um, you know, like dealing with customers, or organizing my social media or doing marketing, whatever the case may be. And then also, how have you shared these skills in the past with other founders? For you guys, we share all these skills amongst each other. So you can say with fellow founders in the We Rise program or whatever accelerators or other entrepreneurs that you share these skills with. So this one is not a chat GTP answer. You'll probably have to answer this on your own, but just draw from what you know. Make it simple. I would even put bullet points. 1, I'm really good with customers. 2, I just say be yourself in this one. And then this next one is, in the last 6 months, what have been the top 3 indicators of brand growth or accomplishments of your brand? This is another one you won't need chat GTP for. You'll just say, 1, I went from selling two cases of granola at the farmers market to selling 20 cases, whatever the case may be. Just put it in. I would bullet point it, make it simple, and just show like, this is how I've grown. Or I've grown from 1 flavor to 10 flavors. Or I've grown from selling it in 1 marketplace to selling it in several marketplaces. Just bullet point this, 1, 2, 3. Tell them exactly what has gone on with your brand, what you've been able to accomplish over the last 3 months. And if it hasn't been in the last 6 months, but maybe in the last 12 months, include it anyways. All right. And then, what are you hoping to learn from the Target Accelerator? That's personal for everybody. So whatever you want to put in there, I would say put your hopes and dreams in there. I hope to be selling my product in, all the major retailers across the country, blah, blah, blah. And you want to learn how to do that, right? And so this is, a great time to just kind of let yourself loose and really share with Target your dreams, and share your bigger dreams. Not a dream that you're trying to say, oh, that's all you can do. Share the real huge dream, because they want to feel like you're dreaming. Like, don't make it small, because then they're like, what do you need us for? And so put your big dream in this answer right here. Like, you want to go global, put that in there. I always put global because I want to go global. Is there anything you would like the application committee to consider when reviewing your application? So this is kind of, I would say, don't leave this empty. I don't believe in leaving anything empty. So a lot of times, I would just put things, maybe some things that you've learned, maybe you've been inspired. Like, for instance, I think I put in my one for pro bono design. It's like, I was so inspired by Tabitha Brown's kind of limited edition of collections. I just could see how that was a potential for me to have a relationship with Target. And because immediately I remember when I got into the pro bono design program, they're like, what do you mean by limited edition? They asked me, like, what kind of collection do you think you would do that would be equivalent to Tabitha? And I was like, oh, I was just writing an answer to a question. I didn't know you would really ask me about it. But put something in there that that maybe you haven't shared with anybody else, or, share a personal story or just something, but don't leave it blank. I tell people, this is kind of thing where the people that leave it blank, let's say they got a whole list of people, right? And all of you guys are equally qualified. They could decide this is the question where, because you left it blank, you kind of get shoved to the bottom. So never leave anything blank. And then it says, please attach supporting materials you'd like to review. If there are products that are not on your website, please attach them here now. So if you have a pitch deck, put it here. Or if you have, they have these sheets for products where it's like, I don't call sheets or something for CPG stuff. So put that there. If you have a business plan, I would put it there. You can add up to 15 files. I wouldn't put 15 files, but like a pitch deck, maybe some, call sheets about your products, so that something they can easily look at and refer to. But definitely upload something there, at least something about it. And, like for some people, I would say, let's say you don't really have call sheets, you don't have a pitch deck, then I would just maybe make just make some PDF copies of your products from your website and put them in a one PDF file and then upload it, because they just want to be able to refer to what it is you're doing and some information. They want to see the visuals and they want to see what you're doing and have some language around what it is you're doing, and you want to show off. So you can't put a website here, but you can like take a picture of each of your website pages and make them into PDFs and then put it in one PDF file. So whatever you need to do. And then here, please share links to any notable press you would like us to know about. So if you were in any accelerators, if you had any press, put it here. All right. And then guess what? We're at the end. You did it. Thank you for applying. We can't wait to read your application. And so, yeah, that wasn't so bad. It really wasn't so bad. It's a lot of information that they want somewhat, but you just kind of fill in what's true for you. And just remember, like, don't leave anything blank. And if you don't understand something, they do have a reference page. Let me see. Let me pull it up. If it'll pull up. Not this page. They do have a page where they have all the terms. Well, what does e-commerce mean? What does EDI means? Limited liability, all these different terms, manufacturing capabilities. So, if you have questions about what some of those terms continue to mean, you can go here. Vendor rep, a sales agency or company that sells and manufactures products and or acts as an intermediary to the wholesale, mass, retailer customer, as I told you. So you can go here and look up terms. I would say this: make sure that whatever you upload looks good, is visual, explains what your product is, because they will, they like that kind of stuff. They want to see the stuff. And then remember, you can go to Chat GTP and use that as a means by which to create, your essay responses. They are big on that. Because they need to know that you can talk intelligibly about your product. And like I said, 5 to 10 more answers will immediately probably get your application not seriously considered, unless everybody did 5 to 10 words, which that never happens. So, all right, any questions? And then what I want to do while we're thinking about that is, I'm trying to look at the Forward Founders application. The Forward Founders application is the same thing, but less. But I do think it's pretty much the same information. So, yeah, it's the same, pretty much the same. Where is my Forward Founders application? Here it goes. Yeah, I went through both of them, and they're pretty much the same. Sometimes you don't have as many options in the Forward Founders because they don't expect you to have been further. They don't think that you're going to be further along in your business, so they're not going to ask you kind of more in-depth questions. All right, yeah. All righty. Come on, log in. Okay, here it goes. Target, yeah. Save address and continue. Let me just go. Let me see if there was any different questions in the founder Forward. I don't think so. I remember I went through this and it was all pretty much the same. Okay. Pretty much the same. One of the things I do recommend that people do when they do your application is make sure that you copy it, all the information that you put in there. Because a lot of times for me, I will apply for something and then I will use these same answers in another application because they're asking me the same thing over and over again. All these programs pretty much ask a lot of the same questions. And so I make a Google file. I put all my answers in a Google file. And then when I go to my next application, when they ask the same question, I just cut and paste because I've already worked on it. I've already done it. I know what I'm going to say. I know what I need to do. Okay, this thing keeps taking me back and forth. Maybe it's because they're like, you really can't apply for anything, Charlotte. You've already done this before. So yeah, I was trying to start from the beginning. So yeah, make sure you cut and paste your answers, and then keep it for you. So I'll close my three. My three top tips are: fill out the application as thoroughly as possible. If it says 200 words, try to come as close to 200 words as possible. Wow, hey, ChatGPT, let it come up with 200 words for you. Because they really are looking at these essay questions. They are looking at them. When I went to the information session, they stressed this. Like, don't give us 5-10 word answers. Don't do it. Secondly, take your time. Like, start on it now, so that by Friday, you have enough time to make sure you get everything done and you're not in any rush. And because in that way you don't make any mistakes. And then thirdly, think about the materials you want to attach to your application. If it's a pitch deck, or if it's call sheets, or if it's pictures from your website, then start collecting that stuff now, get it ready, and then attach it to your application. All right. Well, wow, that took a long time. I am done with what I wanted to present. I definitely, if you have any questions, you can ask me, but I covered a lot. And what I will do is I will save this video, and then I will kind of edit it, and then I will put it up back on YouTube, but then I'll put little timestamps. So if you just want to go back to the section about X, Y, and Z, then you can just go straight there, as opposed to having to watch this whole thing. So I think it'll be good. I wish all of you luck. I think it'll be fine. I think both of you have great products that Target would definitely be interested in. And I think it'll be a really great opportunity for you to learn how to scale up to this retail market and go big and make all that money. Because Lord knows we all need to make money. So this has been a pleasure doing this. I'm gonna start doing these every Friday. I will pick either different applications to go through, or I will pick different questions that appear on applications on a regular basis. So Target is simple, but some of the other accelerator applications, sometimes they ask you, SOM, TAM, and TOM, and all that stuff, and what are your cash flow projections and all that kind of stuff. And so I'm going to I'm going to bite off a chunk of those questions, just a few at a time, and then kind of go through specifically how to answer those and how to get the information. Because again, a lot of times those are the kind of questions that will disqualify you right away. They'll look at that first, and then they just they're done. And so you want to make sure you put the adequate information in there so you can be seriously considered. Okay, I want to say thank you guys so much for joining me. It's been a pleasure sharing with you the Target Accelerator application. If you have other questions, you run into issues, feel free to DM me or put it in the comment section or email me, whatever the case may be. I'm more than happy to try to help you out. Make sure you get that application done. You got a week. Which is more than enough time. And I am going to save this live. And I'm going to timestamp it so that you can go to different sections and bypass all the other stuff that I've done. So thank you. Peace and blessings to you. It is Friday night. I appreciate you joining me on a Friday night. And have a beautiful weekend. And good luck. I don't think you guys need luck. I think you're going to be fine. And if you want me to review your application before you submit it, let me know. I'm more than happy to do that as well. All right, gang. I'm going to give you back to your Friday night and to your weekend. So thank you for joining me. And I love you and wishing you peace and prosperity. Yes. All right, fam. Have a good night now. Take care. See ya.